Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jennifer Holt of Loyalty 360, and I am here with Luke Garneau of DataCandy. Luke is the VP of Strategic Consulting Services. Hi, Luke. How are you today?
Very good. Yourself?
Very good, thank you. We're here today talking with Luke on our Thought Leadership series and doing a brief interview of a couple of questions with the current state of the industry. So, Luke, I want to get started, and we'll just go ahead and ask you this first question. Loyalty 360 believes that it is the best time to be a CMO, yet also the most challenging time to be a CMO. Do you agree, and why or why not? And what advice would you give a new CMO in today's environment?
Well, I would say it's definitely a good time to be a CMO, but a challenging time as well. So first of all, the importance of customer data has never been that critical, and not only to marketing strategies, but also to corporate strategies. And talking about corporate strategies, those are now getting much more influenced by marketing than they used to 10 years ago. Now we see much more frequently CMOs peers turning to them for data and insights. And at the end of the day, CMOs weigh much more in the corporate decision-making process than never did before. Also, we see companies trying to implement a customer-centric strategy, which is sometimes, I have to admit, not so easy to implement. And CMOs need to be extremely agile to translate to lower level employees how things need to be done differently. So in order for the customer to be placed in the center of every decision the organization makes. And the real challenge is to get the message across, and not only within the marketing department, but within all departments. So that's a real challenge for the CMOs. On the downside, so the list of skills that CMOs must now master compared to, let's say, 5 years ago, is way longer. So obviously technology is now, it's still like a very big game changer. So in a very short period of time, CMOs went from developing strategies and managing mass initiatives to more targeted actions that now go from email, mobile to social media. And there's been such a need for a CMO to constantly remain up to date on market and technology trends. So finally, if I had advice to give to CMOs in today's environment, I would tell them 3 things. So first of all, to remain focused on strategy and try not to get distracted by operational and tactical challenges, which is very easy to be distracted from. The second one would be never assume you fully know your customers. There will be always a way to be more relevant to them, to better know them, so they can better respond to your offers and just be more engaged. And finally, the third one is always find the best way to measure how customer engagement can drive sales and profit. So that's one of the things that is very key for CMOs, because when we talk about customer value, sometimes they get challenged by is it really paying off? And so that's why CMOs really need to make sure they can properly measure how customer engagement can drive sales and profit.
That's great advice. Thank you so much for sharing that. So the next question is, there are said to be 6 qualities that define engagement. These are value, efficiency, trust, consistency, relevance, and control. Which term do you think the market finds the easiest to implement, and what term does it find the most difficult to implement?
When we talk about engagement, I think value is something that markets find relatively, I would say, easy to implement, and here's why. So more and more retailers are facing strong competition, and everyone is pushing as much as he can to demonstrate how more valuable their offers are versus any other person in the market. So even though the value can be very broad, so most of the time, as you know, customers evaluate the value they get just based on price, like the price they pay. So they just say to themselves, so am I getting enough for such a price? So many retailers can still manage a price a bit higher, but the value happens to be reflected through other components, such as produce, ultra freshness, super cool shopping environments, or any other outstanding customer services. So retailers always find a way to talk about value in different shapes or forms. But there's still a downside about value, because its perception level may vary from one customer to another. And this is why the most difficult term reside in the ability to maximize relevance. Customer are, as you know, they are far from being equal in terms of their shopping habits, and this is why customer knowledge becomes so important in the equation. So, so in order to access to customer data, obviously a loyalty program is the best way to do so. But even though retailers have access to customer profile, preferences, shopping habits, that kind of things, that's really business intelligence that will dictate, how and what to communicate to each individual customer. But I think one of the most important factors is the ongoing customer analysis that needs to happen in order to keep on improving the level of relevance. So that same relevance, it gets stronger only if you have the ability to implement like a two-way process, which translates in analyzing customer behavior and also how that same customer will be responding to your offers. So in other words, so even though it may sound a bit easy, the ongoing analytical exercise is often something that organizations are simply not ready to invest in. And this is, I would say, the reason why retailers are struggling so much to be as relevant as possible with their customers.
Well, Luc, thank you so much for sharing your opinions with Loyalty 360 today. We're looking forward to speaking with you more, and especially looking forward to the webinar that's going to be hosted by you on Tuesday, August 12th at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We're looking forward to it.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.